Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming. Our first podcast.
What's up, man?
How you doing, man?
Good, good.
Good. For those who
Excited.
don't know us, I'm Dan. This is Tyler.
What's up, everybody?
Tyler Roser. I'm Dan Toms. We're going to be doing this podcast every single Wednesday night. So thank you for taking time out of your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is. We appreciate you joining in. Tyler, what do you want to start with?
Oh, I just want to first and foremost say, guys, this is a long time coming. Dan and I have been talking and collaborating about this for a few months now. We're very excited to start this podcast. Looking forward to the experience and going through the journey together. We're going to grow with you guys in terms of how we kind of ultimately deliver each week's content to you. I know we're looking forward to mostly having guests on each week, but wanted to come to you guys live first, not live, but come to you guys first with just us to give you guys a background on each of us and let each of us go for a little bit and kind of let you guys get a little information about each other.
Yeah. Not only a little information about each other, but we also want to deliver content that is also going to, hopefully you learn something every time you listen to a podcast. Like we're going to be, we're going to be ourselves. We're just going to open up about our lives, what we've been through, what we did to get to where we are today, and what our future plans are. So we look forward to taking you guys on this journey. And again, really appreciate you guys joining in. I also just want to thank our first sponsor of today, of our first podcast, which is Roser Properties. If you want a clean, updated apartment to live in the southern New Hampshire area, Roser Properties is where it's at. They are our very first investor in this company, and we really appreciate them. Shout out to Roser Properties.
Yeah, I mean, I know Roser Properties was looking to come on board, and they figured this was a good spot. We're going to be talking a lot about small businesses and basically small real estate investments relatively to the bigger scale stuff. And I know that I work for Roser Properties on the side, so I know we're looking to really expand our portfolio in the next 5-10 years.
I know the owner. Just want to throw that out there.
Hi, I'm the owner. Part owner. Myself and my wife own the business together.
Right. Shout out to Lauren.
Lauren Roser at home if you're watching. I love you, honey. Take care, Giffy.
Giffy's a great dog. Like what you were saying earlier, this podcast is not anything without Giffy. I feel like he should be here right now, but...
Yes. Yeah, we were talking backstage a little bit. The first time we were on here, we were doing kind of a dry run a couple weeks ago, and Giffy was here, my dog, and he was running around. And for those of you who know Giffy, he's petrified of humans other than myself and my wife. So he was avoiding
petrified.
Dan. Yeah, he will run. He'll just go everywhere.
Yep.
So he runs away while barking at you, and we'll get him on the show eventually. But
he'll be on.
He's recovering from a surgery, so he's resting at home right now with my wife. And we're coming to you guys actually today from Dan's multifamily. Dan owns a 3-family here in Manchester, New Hampshire. Gorgeous facility. The whole thing has really been redone. I'm sure Dan will go into detail about it later on, but I wanted to really let you guys see. I wish you could see what I'm looking at, because this place is first class all the way. And it's actually a nice neighborhood. The drive up today was nice after work, and I really enjoyed being here. And so thank Dan today. This wouldn't be possible without him. He's kind of the tech side of things, and I just kind of ramble a lot. And hopefully you guys get a little information from me each week.
Well, again, appreciate you coming all the way out here to Manchester to join me and help start this podcast we're going to be doing together. Really look forward to the journey, like I said earlier.
Of course.
Early on, but just want to start off with. I feel like we should have you explain what your story is. Like, where did you start? Where did you first have the thought that you wanted to start a business in like real estate and invest in real estate and have a rental property, and then what your plan is with that side of the business called Roser Properties, which is, thank you for our sponsors today, Roser Properties.
Sure. And we'll go more in depth to this as we have each guest on, but it goes back to my first. I always knew. So I like to study Warren Buffett growing up a lot. I'm sure everybody out there knows who Warren Buffett is, one of the most successful and sought after investors in our nation's history. So I like to study him a lot growing up in high school. Me and my buddy of mine, my brother Jake Fagan, A lot of you guys will know him eventually. He's going to be on the podcast at some point.
He's currently living on the West Coast. Is that right?
He is. He's over in Los Gatos.
Doing well
again,
for himself.
Doing very well. He's kicking butt. He's in the property management business. And
Very
we're excited.
nice.
We'll have him on at some point.
Yeah, look forward to that.
But so him and I used to hang out a lot at his house. We were neighbors growing up. We were about 2 years apart almost, maybe a year and a half apart, and we grew up next to our neighbors, and so we used to hang out a lot, and we kind of stumbled upon Warren Buffett, and I started studying him more and more. And Warren Buffett always said, if you don't learn to invest, you're going to die working. And so
I like that.
as a kid, you don't really think about it much. You're energetic, you're excited, you work a lot, and you just kind of do your thing. But as I got older and older in high school and college, and then after college, I started thinking about it more and more. I need to start investing. That always sat in the back of my head, right? So, I bought the first rental property at 24, and
It's a good age. That's a young age.
very young, very young.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. But young age, it really started. So, it all revolves around my wife. My whole life does. I love my wife. I'm one of these guys who's truly. My wife is my best friend. I love her, and I'm not going to go into detail about that right now, but she's ultimately my best friend, and I had a whole master plan of getting engaged to her. So, along with that is we agreed that when we got engaged, we would move in together, but not beforehand. So, me being the master planner that I am, I learned my master plan from John Fagan, Jake Fagan's father. I used to always have great chats with him growing up at nighttime. My buddy Jake was notorious for falling asleep early. So I would go upstairs. John was in the living room. Him and I would have a drink, not an alcoholic drink. I'd have a Mountain Dew or something. And we'd have a drink and we'd just talk for hours. And he was like my father figure growing up. So shout out to John Fagan. Love you. You know that. I don't need to say anything else. But, so, I'd have a lot of chats with him, and
I just want to cut you off there. I've met Mr. Fagan before. Great guy.
He's a great guy.
I really look up to him. Anyway, go ahead.
Love to get him on the podcast. He's a great businessman, by the way. Great and a tremendous sales background. So we were talking a lot, and he always was a big guy, a big believer in planning, right? Always being 2 or 3 steps ahead, kind of seeing things before they happen or before they come. So I adopted that theory early on, and immediately when I graduated college, I always had this big plan. I wanted to be successful in business, but on the personal side of things, I knew I wanted to get engaged to my wife. I wanted to get married to her. So along with moving in together, I started looking. It simply started out with me looking at apartments in Nashua. I literally hopped on Google, just like the rest of you probably have as you go through your life, and I Googled apartments for rent in Nashua, New Hampshire, right? And at the time, a high-end apartment in Nashua was going, a high-end 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment in Nashua was going for $1,500 a month. Today it's like probably closer to 2, maybe 1,800 to 2,000.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Easily.
But at the time it was that much, right? So, and when you're starting out right out of college, you're not making a ton of money usually. And so I was like, man, that's a lot of money per month. Why don't I just look at maybe buying a condo? Condos I knew were cheaper than homes strategically, or I guess historically. And so looking at condos were cheaper, but then you had the HOA fee, which included, they mowed the lawn for you, they plowed for you.
Which you could do all that.
Exactly, which I was looking forward to doing all that myself. I did that my whole life because I was raised in a single family home with my mom, and I used to do all that stuff anyway. So I was like, well, I don't mind doing that. I'm young. I'm not 65. I want to do that myself anyway. So
yeah.
Then I stumbled up. I was like, all right, well, why don't I just buy a house? Well, I started looking at houses, and if any of you out there know, houses in the Northeast are very expensive. We live in one of the most expensive parts of the country. So I quickly realized I could not afford a mortgage, or we could not afford a mortgage, my wife and I, without some help. So then I came across the idea of, why don't I buy a multifamily? Now I knew about multifamilies primarily because my father-in-law, or at the time my girlfriend's dad, owned 2 multifamilies. Mm-hmm. So I asked him to a little breakfast joint in Nashua, knowing that I was going to ask for his daughter's hand in marriage.
Shout out to Bud's Restaurant.
Shout out to Bud's. They're going through a huge redevelopment right now.
Huge.
They're actually closed for the next couple weeks. She's in Greece, the owner.
Gosh.
So have a great time. We look forward to when you guys get back. We look forward to the reopen. Maybe we can do a live on location one day.
Nope.
And so I asked him there, because that's my go-to place when Glenn and I have meetings. Shout out to Glenn. We will have you on the show one day. We want to be a little bit more polished when we do, but we want to be ready to go.
Oh yeah.
But I asked him the Buds, and I said, look, first and foremost, the reason I'm here is I want to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage. And we had been dating for like 7 years at the time, and he said it's about damn time. So, um, once we got that out of the way, I said, well, part of this is we want a place to live. Would you be open to selling me one of your multifamilies? I think originally I asked about the other one.
The third,
Yeah,
the three family unit, yeah.
Wanting to have a three family. I was like, we could live in one and rent out two. But at the time, he had just bought that at the time, and it wasn't great timing. So he said, well, no, but the other one is a two family, probably a little bit more manageable, price wise for you, anyways, which is smaller. So ended up settling on taking a look at the two family, but obviously wanted to get Lauren's approval first. So Lauren and I then went and looked at it. We talked, sat down, and said, hey, is this something you'd be okay with? And obviously she was on board. So we ended up closing on that literally 2 weeks. We closed on that on August 1st. We went down. I took her on kind of a 5-day getaway to Newport, Rhode Island.
Newport.
And so we called it our engagement moon because that's when we got engaged. She didn't know at the time. I was picking her up. Actually, I bought the truck, right? Remember? And then we went out all night driving around in the truck, and then I had to go and pack.
I knew before.
Yeah, Dan knew. Dan's always one of the first to know about all the stuff we do. Dan's like a brother to me. We've been friends for 10 years now. So, yeah. So, anyways, we bought the house. 2 weeks later, we got engaged. Literally almost a year to the day after that, we were married. So we bought the multifamily when I was 24. Now, the reason I told you this whole story is because I kind of backed into real estate. I really had no intention at 21, 22, 23, even 24 of getting into real estate for that reason. For the reason of owning multifamilies or owning any kind of real estate at all, really.
At that time, I was doing construction, correct? Or was I working at the store?
Construction. Because Dan and I both, John's Market, that's where I work right now. It's a small family-owned grocery store. Dan and I both worked there. That's where we met. He was, I think, a sophomore in high school. I was a senior. I stayed on all through our college. Dan, after high school, stayed on for a while. I ended up, after college, going to work for Allstate. Dan ended up going to work for a company called Moss Construction. I want to give a shout out to them.
Shout out to Moss Construction. If you want a custom log home, wow.
There's no one else in the
Great
game
place.
that will do it like them.
No. Quality.
Jesse,
Quality work.
And Rex.
Drex, yep. Drex and Jesse.
Yep, good guys.
Oh, yeah.
So he ended up going there. I was at Allstate for a year right after college, and so this was during Allstate to answer your question.
Okay.
Actually, meanwhile, I was also in negotiations to come back and work for Janot's before Glenn. So all along when I was in high school and college working for Glenn, I had kind of come to the realization, I didn't really tell anybody this other than John Fagan at some point, that I wanted to own Janot's one day. I kind of had been there long enough and done enough for Glenn that I knew I wanted to, prove myself, make a name for myself one day, and take over the company at some point if, that was something Glenn was open to in the future. So I approached him to go back after we had done the whole thing where, okay, I'm going to marry your daughter, I'm going to buy this multifamily. I also said, I really want to come back and work for you full time and give this thing a go. And we put together kind of a game plan and a map of that whole plan, that side of things too.
And on top of all of this planning and whatnot, you are saving all your money, saving everything you have.
Yeah, that's actually
living.
That's probably a good point.
That's what I was expecting for you to start off right off the bat with.
I didn't even start with the financial. Yeah, so twofold. I backed into real estate, but the second I graduated college at 22. So one of my goals, going into my senior year of college, one of my goals was to have a career full-time job lined up for graduation day. So when I graduated college, I had a job lined up. I wasn't worried about it. I accepted a sales position at Allstate Insurance the morning of my graduation. And so that was a pretty cool moment. I remember sitting there in Snow Arena here in Manchester, being very proud that I had a job. I ended up going to work for a guy named Kurt Wicks. He's one of the biggest Allstate agents in the country, and I couldn't have more respect and admiration for him. He's impressive.
You would be a good one to have on the.
He'd be a great guy. Him or Greg or John, my boss, John Dennison.
I still use John.
His daughter,
John's
Caroline.
a great guy. He takes great care of me.
They're awesome. They're one of the
awesome.
best insurance people in the country, truthfully. Kurt, I believe, was a top life insurance salesman for a while there.
I believe it.
And I learned a lot from him. He taught me a lot. I learned a lot, how to be professional, how to be relentless, how to be determined, driven, even patient, actually, sometimes. While being driven is probably a tough thing to do. But anyways, so yes, I was while working at Allstate, I was still living at home, actually. and just banking pretty much every dollar that I could.
He was, to put it in Dave Ramsey's
yes
perspective, he was living like no other, so later on he could live like no other. But every time I'd ask him, hey, you want to hang out? We want to do this? Want to do this? And he's like, nah.
True.
I'm on my next big thing.
Still say that.
He still does. He's really good with his money.
You have to be, especially early on when you don't have a lot. You gotta be. It's even more important.
Which I learned from you. So
I appreciate that. And you're kind of, you did that too. You kind of did the same thing.
oh yeah,
He's 2 years
I took
younger than me.
notes. I
So
took notes.
he did. So yes, that's probably a huge point. The other side of it is, well, along I'm kind of discovering that the only way for Laura and I to, the most financially way for Laura and I to live together was to have a multifamily where we bought a 2-family. The person upstairs was paying X amount. I think I want to say it was $800 at the time.
Which is nothing.
Yeah, no.
By the way,
yeah, $800 a month,
nothing.
and I'm not gonna say her name, but it was a single woman
Great lady.
paying $800 a month, and we kept her on when we moved in. So that was nice to have that help with the mortgage. That was the whole reason behind buying a multifamily, by the way, is that we were gonna have help with the mortgage while living there and kind of getting our feet wet together as a couple. But yes, the side of the thing is, well, I worked for Allstate for like 13 months, and while there, I was able to save like close to $30,000. I had a little bit saved when I graduated college, maybe like $1,000, and by the time I left and bought the multifamily, I had $30,000 saved.
Yeah,
So
that's huge.
I was that was kind of my number in my head too. I knew how much, and now, granted, my wife also at the time was a saver. You got to be on the same page. Big lesson to you guys out there: be on the same page, and have goals that you guys talk about and agree upon. Otherwise, it's not going to be that easy. But so meanwhile, she was also saving. She must have had close to $30,000 too. I don't remember if she had, but we both had a good chunk of money for being 23 years old saved up.
Well, that's
And
huge.
so we sat down, we put the down payment on the house, we bought that. I bought the engagement ring, the engagement moon vacation thing, and we kind of got everything rolling. But yeah, I think the biggest thing I probably did was just, I remember I had a small salary while at Allstate, and I was able to live off that. And every commission check I got, I just threw it in savings. On top of that, though, I didn't even live off my whole salary. I saved live off of like a half of it and put the other half to savings too. I was just saving every dollar I could, literally every dollar I could, because the short-term goal wasn't to look rich and have cool clothes and drive a fancy car. The long-term goal was to have, investments and all that kind of stuff and do the right thing. I've always been an
Right.
old man in a young man's body, so a wise man. How about that? So, or at least I act like it.
A lot of respect to that. Well, there's a lot of respect because in the day we live in, or this age we live in, I should say, as Americans,
Yep.
we always want the biggest and the best thing
Right.
in life.
And we're kind of brought up that way, where we think of things like,
I need to have this
Yeah.
to be cool. I need to wear these Jordan shoes so people will recognize me.
Yep. Yep.
Nope, you don't.
Instagram and social media and TV, your friends, everybody
Yep.
makes you think to believe you need to have the Apple AirPods or all these
No, not just the Apple AirPods, the new Apple AirPods.
and the iPhone 12X 5 7G.
Yeah.
You gotta have everything latest and greatest, and that wasn't. I just never really. I was never that way to begin with, but I never.
He still
really,
uses a track phone. It's a flip phone,
I
actually.
wish my first phone was a track phone, actually. Not surprising, right?
I don't want to tell you what my first phone was.
So yeah, that was kind of how I got started, and
My first phone was an iPhone 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. No, my first one was a track phone. The
Idiot.
screen was about as wide as this pen. You could read things.
Wait, was it the one that flips sideways?
No, it was a flip up silver one. My mom bought me.
Okay.
I wanted
Like
cell
a
phone.
razor? Was
It
it the
was-
razor? Like
no,
a thin
no,
one?
It was
Or?
literally like a burner phone.
Okay.
My mom bought. I wanted a phone for my for Christmas, I think, and I needed it for like sports and stuff. And so she bought me a track phone, and it was perfect because you could buy minutes, and it did exactly what it needed to do. I actually ended up blowing through all the minutes texting my now wife.
Nice. Worth every penny.
Worth literally every penny. I think each text was like
A penny.
3 pennies.
think-
yeah,
yeah,
it was
something like that.
it was cheap.
Yeah.
But-
No, not really. If you like someone,
If
you like
yeah.
someone, you're texting them all the time.
I wasn't texting her, and then I started texting her, and all of a sudden I went through like 400 minutes. My mom's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I don't know."
Friends are trying to just meet up for basketball.
Right. Yeah, but it's fun though. So yeah, I mean, and then the coolest part of the story is when we bought the house in August of. So it'll be 4 years next month that we bought the house, or at the end of this month.
Wow.
And the coolest part is this guy and I So I got quotes to redo the whole downstairs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like
Yep.
75 grand. It was going to be, and everybody out there knows how much $75,000 is to a 24-year-old. And so immediately Dan and I went into construction mode. Dan and I, this guy right here, redid the entire downstairs apartment by ourselves for 30 grand.
I just want to stop you right there. So they also quoted you. What is it? 3 or 6? No, 3 months. They would get it done in 3 months.
Yeah,
This-
he said they'd be lucky to get it done in 3 months.
They would be lucky to get it done in 3 months. This guy and I, the Dan and Tyler show, now,
just under 3 months.
just under 3 months.
Because I got back from
and that's working like
oh yeah,
almost every single night after work
working
until
full
like
2 a.m.
2 to 3 a.m. and then getting back up for the next day to go
At
in
8
for work
a.m.
at 5 a.m.
Yeah,
to 8
sometimes-
a.m.
Sometimes 5, yeah.
I was on that 5 a.m. grind.
Yeah.
I was working like 5 to 4 every
'cause-
Tuesday and Thursday.
You opened before me. You started opening at Janus before I did.
Yep, you got like a extra 3 hours of sleep. You come in, you're like, oh, I feel great. And I was just like, shut
No,
up.
we would text each other when we got home. I'd jump because we'd be covered in plaster or something, and I'd jump in the shower for like a half hour and get the cake batter out of my hair, and then
Yeah.
I would text you. I'd be like, all right, night's out, and then like 2:45 in the morning, and then we get back up at 6 a.m. and do it all over again. And,
Yep.
But yeah, we would work literally every single night, and we finished it in we moved in November like 12th or something like that. I remember. To no heat, by the way, for 6 weeks. That's another story.
Oh yeah, that was. Wait,
Get your heat checked before you move in. Rookie move.
we had a. Did we have a heater there? And we didn't we enclose something? So while we were eating
Yeah,
our
remember we had
pizza,
the pizza boxes. Yeah,
we had like a heater to warm
we
up.
had that space heater in
The space heater.
I guess the bedroom, right? The back room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, crazy times.
it was fun.
Crazy times.
That was 3 months that I'll never trade for anything. We used to we'd go out for popsicle breaks in the porch, and like it was 1 in the morning, so no one was out there. And we'd just chat and go back inside and do demo. My poor tenant upstairs. We'd be running a Sawzall at 2:30 in the morning, cutting out the bathroom tub, and
She shortly left right after.
yeah, she moved out,
She moved out. She's gone.
which it worked out for the better for everybody. So,
We all saved money. I mean,
well,
you guys.
not the new
did.
tenant
Not the new tenant.
because the rent went up, but
But yeah, those were great memories.
that was great. Yeah, it was great years.
Those are some of the times that really molded me for who I am as a person. I mean, I grew
Same.
up. My parents. I give them everything to why I am who I am today. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. I was actually homeschooled, and she was
She
the
was your
one
teacher,
who kind of
right?
like molded me. Yeah, she taught me.
Yeah.
She was my teacher. She was kind of the person that molded me, and then I got all my skills,
Mm-hmm.
all my drive, I would say, from my father. My dad is probably the hardest working man you will ever meet, and
Master electrician, correct?
he's
Yeah.
an electrician, and he does everything. So he does obviously construction, plumbing, electrical. He works on cars. He'll do everything, and he has the most drive and the biggest heart of any human I'll ever know. If you ever called on him, if you had a leaking pipe and it's like 3 in the morning, he'll be there. He'll be fixing that pipe for you. If you need a new roof on your house, he's the guy getting a crew together to go up on your roof to replace it. He's just that kind of guy, and he would work for free.
He was over at my multifamily helping us out a number of nights.
That is right.
After working.
He was.
Yep.
Yep.
So we weren't alone. We had some help along the way. And he was one of the
Absolutely.
guys big time.
Yep.
Me and him, actually, one night, I don't think you were there that night, we drywalled the bathroom ceiling together. Him and I did.
Was it the bathroom or the living room? No, I was there for the
You
living
were there
room.
for the living room.
Yeah.
He did the
The
bathroom with me.
bathroom. Yeah. Was Caleb there too, or was it just my father?
Just him and I. And
Okay.
because we had to do something weird, but it was nothing's level. The house was built in 1920 or whatever, so
To be expected.
we had to like do something weird. I don't remember what it was, but we had to do something weird in there. I remember we had to do double wall too because we had that tile guy wanted that done,
Mm-hmm.
so the pipes wouldn't
The
freeze.
weirdo.
He was a good guy. Maybe we misunderstood him. Mikey.
No, oh wait, that tile guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
thought you meant the floor guy. No, I love Mike. Mike's a great guy. I thought you meant the floor guy.
Yeah. No. We
Uh-huh.
had a good experience with all the vendors that we used, or contractors.
Yep.
No issues there. That's a good point.
I was
given,
the GC.
Given your
He did not like that.
No, he did not. It was it was a stranglehold.
You?
Gosh.
This kid?
Gosh.
Your general contractor?
No.
By himself?
But yeah, they had a good back and forth going for a while there.
But back to what I was saying, like,
Yeah, it's really-
my dad is
it's a good
literally
point.
my biggest role model, and that's where I get all my drive and motivation from. But back to what you were saying, so, you know, we pretty much did everything within 3 months.
Mhm.
We got everything done, and
but-
everything is exactly how you wanted it.
That's a good point because that's kind of who shaped you to be who you are today. That's like my mom. Like as I told you guys, single family home I grew up in, and my mom worked 3 jobs. She worked 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. a lot of nights, and that kind of taught me the work ethic I have today, which I hold very near to me. That she taught me that work ethic, because now I always try to be the hardest worker in the room. Dwayne The Rock Johnson talks a lot about that on his shows he does about being the hardest worker in the room, and I think if you know what I'm talking about. But watching her go through that year after year after year and just grinding, and it wasn't like she was doing it to put us through like private schools and go on fancy vacations. She was just doing it to give us a good roof over our head and show us a good work ethic and show us what a good parent is. And so I appreciate you saying that about your parents, because it kind of makes me want to say a huge how important it was to me to watch my mom raise us, because it was massive respect for her for what she did.
And that literally goes to show you there's literally no excuse. There's no excuse to why you are at where you are today. You are at where you are today because of yourself.
100% on you all the time.
You.
Hold accountability. You need to be. It's because a huge point I have with this country is that everybody's too easy on themselves, or they don't want to hold themselves accountable. It's all on you. As soon as you're to a certain point in your youth, yes, your upbringing affects it, but as soon as you're an adult, it's on you. It's like, I think it was Bill Gates said, if you're born poor, it's not your fault. But if you stay poor,
that's your fault.
That's your fault.
Absolutely.
And that's not just, I'm not just talking economically. If you stay poor without educating yourself in different topics, then you stay poor and not engaging yourself in relationships with your future spouse and children, it's on you. Hold yourself accountable. Become rich, not just money wise, but become rich in every single facet of your life.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to that. I was like, wow, that really resonated with me.
Yeah.
So
no, that's a really good point. I really like that you brought that up.
If you're born poor, it's your fault.
Yep.
I'm sorry, it's not your fault. But if you stay poor, that's your fault.
I just agree with you. No, absolutely, and there's a lot of truth to that, and I know a lot of people that are watching right now can definitely agree and possibly relate to that. And but no, that's great. And back to the story on your house. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So back to the story on your house. So working almost every single night until 1, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yep.
We were able to accomplish not only getting your whole house done, but we got it done within the timeline that the construction company gave you.
Which we then set for ourselves as a goal. We kind of had in the back of our head that we wanted to get this.
I didn't think we were going to make it.
No, but I remember talking to you about this. I remember saying, hey, look, they said they can do it in 3 months. Let's see if we can.
And you know what I said? I said, and I remember this vividly, I said, this construction company is going to be working all day, Monday through Friday. There's no way we're going to beat that timeline. No way.
Well, we're crazy, so we did it.
We did it.
And
a lot of Mountain Dew and a lot of pizza.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mountain Dew and was it Domino's or Pizza
Domino,
Hut?
Yanni's, Domino's. It was we kind of hopped around, but Domino's was a big. We ended up knowing that Domino's guy. Remember, he used to come a lot.
That's right.
Yeah. So
yeah, Domino's.
Domino's and Mountain Dew.
Shout out to that guy. Maybe he still works there. Maybe he's watching. We don't know.
Yep.
But you were the guy.
You got us through it.
You hooked us up.
Yeah.
Wait,
we probably lost the.
Pretty sure he was coming out at like midnight too.
Yeah. No. Remember, it was like 10:30 was like the break time.
Break time. 10:30.
We usually got out of our shifts for like between 4 and 5 at in the afternoon.
Go home,
change into our construction clothes, which for me was my Crocs. That was my a lot of staple guns and nail holes. Actually, the flip flops I still wear today. I've had the same flip flops. Shout out to Rainbow Flip Flops. Huge supporter of you guys. I've had the same flip flops for almost 10 years now, but there was no PPE or safe working conditions where we were.
I just want to say I never got a nail in my foot.
No, I didn't get a nail in my foot, but I definitely have some.
Really?
I have a lot of stuff in the bottom of my. I wore those. Lauren threw them out, but I have those Crocs that I wore every day. They were comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did demo, and we probably lost a couple months off of life, but totally worth it.
Oh yeah.
We were banging and we were just straight out the whole time. It was awesome. I loved it. I would never trade it for anything. So
a lot of memories were made there.
Oh yeah, it was a good
and
time.
Not only memories, but a lot of character building.
Oh yeah, yeah. was a good-
literally like I said this before, but literally molded who I am today, and I can definitely assume that you would be the same to say.
Absolutely. And I give you. I used to tell Lauren this after we moved in, and we'd be sitting there, I'd be like, man, I give Dan a lot of credit because I had a purpose, right? I was doing it because it was going to be my home, and I had a crush on my wife since I was 10 years old, and so then she started dating me, and then we were going to get married, and so I was motivated to move in with her because this was my dream come true. I married my dream girl. I was living with her, and that was my whole purpose. But you were just doing it because you were a good man. You were my brother, and probably goes back to what you get that from your pops.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
It was
I think
it was
my
just-
dad and I are blessed with the gift of helps.
yeah, and that's a lot of that's kind of who we surround ourselves with. I think is good people who want to help out and do good things for each other and see each other succeed, and that's a good friend. So
But back to when you met Lauren, what was the first conversation you had when you wanted to be her friend? What did she say to you?
like back in grade school.
You wanted her to be her friend, and she said,
Back in grade school.
"Yes, you cannot be my friend unless you can spell."
Yeah, I spelled the word
Hippopotamus.
Is that what it was?
That was, I think.
Okay, so still to this day, I can't spell to save my life.
So
I can do math.
In grade school,
Math
they were
is-
not friends.
Yeah, we were not. Yeah, we didn't end up being friends.
He tried. He tried. He tried to spell
I tried. I
He
started
couldn't
with
do
the
it.
word seven. No,
7.
I spelled hippo, but I couldn't spell hippopotamus. I should know how to spell it from the movie Big Daddy, but
Just a little fun fact, but
Fun,
I
yeah.
thought that was really cute.
yeah, no, that was. I do remember that we both went to Infant Jesus. Which
I don't
is
know why I remember that. I remember the weirdest things.
She must have told you that story.
No, you did.
I did. Okay.
Or you both did. I don't know.
I do remember that. I didn't remember the word, but I do remember it was some word that I couldn't spell.
Pretty
and
sure it was
and she knew I
hippopotamus.
couldn't spell, so she was just poking fun at me at the time. But we had a good time, and she was a nice girl back then. She was a lefty like myself for some things. I'm a lefty for basketball, and so she was too. And we played knockout every recess. We had 2 recesses a day, and every recess we played knockout, and I was pretty good. But she was one of the girls that would play sometimes, and then so I kind of got a crush on her. She was really good at sports, so I just wanted to hang out with her and play sports at the time. You're 10 years old, you don't really think about anything else. You just want to play sports, and then
Yep.
I had a crush on her. And then I was 6th grade, and you start to think a little differently. And it's just like, oh, she's kind of pretty, she's kind of cute. And then,
Yeah.
but then we went to our different schools, and then, as fate would have it, she messaged me one day on Facebook when I was 17. So like 5-6 years later, and she said, "Hey, happy birthday!" And I was like, "Man, Lauren Bingham, been a while, So
Shout out to Lauren.
yeah. So
And-
and then the rest, as they say, is history. So
That's right.
we've been together now. It'd be, how old am I? 28 now.
Gosh.
So it'd be, gosh, so it'd be 11 years in September. We've been together.
You're 28, but you're doing pretty well for yourself. You got yourself a beautiful wife. You just got a dog.
Got a puppy.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
His name's Gifford.
Gifford after so
Gifford Ulysses Roser.
Ulysses Biscuits. Rose.
Ulysses Biscuits
So
Roser.
John's Market was the first store in New Hampshire.
The
to
very
sell-
first store to sell Gifford's ice cream.
Yep.
And that was by far, your favorite ice cream. Both of them.
Yeah. So my wife
Lauren.
actually is the one who turned me on to it. I didn't know about it until she loved it though, and her dad loves it too. And so yes, and then I started eating it and I love it too.
Yeah.
And we have it all the time. Well, we don't have it all the time, but if we have ice cream at home, we usually try to get Gifford's.
I always remember stocking the Boston Bruins.
Yep. Oh yeah. Now they have
Boston Bruins
Patriots,
flavor.
Celtics. They have all of them now.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they have Red Sox. I think Red Sox is Hood.
Possibly. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely
and-
right.
But then they have these things, the ice cream sandwiches called the Giffys, which is what we call our dog. His name is Gifford, but we call him Giffy because the Giffys were. I'd walk down after work one day because the store is right next to my old house, and I'd get a Giffy. And so then I can't actually take credit for naming him Giffy. We were actually, it's a funny story. We were FaceTiming friends of ours, Connor and Christy, and because they were getting a dog literally like weeks before us.
Shout out to Connor. He's going to be on the podcast pretty soon.
Yeah, he'll be on
Stay
one.
tuned.
He'll be on. Connor, we look forward to
Great
having you
guy.
on. Look forward to having
Go
you,
ahead.
buddy.
Sorry.
It's okay. We'll have you on soon, buddy. So we were FaceTiming them, and we were like, "Hey, look, we were bouncing. We wanted it to be something like personal to us. We didn't want it to just be a typical, like Max or a buddy or whatever. We wanted it to be a name unique to us in our lives. And so we were like, oh, it could be Janot's themed or Nashua themed, or could it be whatever. And
Patriots themed. You guys
Yeah.
are huge Patriots fans.
big Patriots fans. Hopefully, gonna have a great year. We just signed Mac Jones to a big contract.
Not
so-
Brady. Go ahead.
But yeah, hopefully having a good year. So and while we're sitting there in the living room talking one night, I'm texting with Connor and saying, hey, you got any dog names? What do you got into? Because they were thinking of stuff too. And And he goes, FaceTime me. So we started FaceTiming him, and he goes, Christy's got the perfect name. And he puts her on. She goes, well, what about Giffy?
Wow.
And I
Shout
go,
out to Christy.
Yeah, Christy. First of all, Christy.
Coming in clutch.
Laura and I call Christy our guardian angel because she's a realtor in Nashua, and so she found us our home. 2 weeks later, she found us our first tenant for our home.
Hang on one second. So just to clarify for the viewers who don't know, you got your rental property from Glen Bingham.
Yep.
But then you have moved out and you have purchased a new home
In the same neighborhood. We
like
love
a
it.
street over,
Yep.
and this is not the same home. So just wanted to. So Christy.
Yeah. So
hooked
the
up-
second home we bought was
through Christy.
Was through Christy. She's
Yep.
a realtor in Nashua.
I just wanted to clarify that
Yep.
for the people who
So
are watching.
Yeah, the second home we bought was the only one we bought through Christy.
So-
She was a realtor. She found it for us, and she even said it was on the market, and we saw it. And then she was like, "Do you want to go see it?" We're like, "No, not really. It needed a lot of work, as you saw the pictures before." And we're like, "No, not really. Let's keep looking." And all along, we've been looking. And during this crazy time of real estate, we kept getting turned down from offers we were putting in homes. And this one came up, and we're like, "No, we're okay. We're gonna pass." And then another one came up in the neighborhood, and so Lauren and I texted her, and we're like, "Hey, can we go look at this house?" And she's like, "Okay. Well, while we're doing that, do you also want to go look at this one on Hall Ave?" And so we were like, "Yeah, okay, sure. Why not? We're already out. Let's go take a look at it." Well, we ended up liking that one way more than the one that we saw that we liked on the pictures online.
That was on Concord Street, right?
Correct. Yep. And then we ended up going back to this one, and we're like, "Man, we really like that one." And full circle, it ended up being in the price range we originally set on before we kept having to raise our price range to get the house we wanted. So it was almost like meant to be.
Yeah.
So she found us that house. Then we move in. She finds us a tenant for our apartment.
Wow. That's huge.
Because we were living in one of the apartments, so she found us a tenant.
So you guys moved into the new house, and
Yep.
then
Within a
she
week,
found
we
you.
had a tenant.
Within a week.
Yeah, for that first, we didn't even have 1 month without rent.
Wow.
She found us a new tenant, and the girl's a sweetheart.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And she's been there ever since.
Yeah, it's her and her daughter, and they're awesome. And
That's great.
Very nice, very nice.
They got a
tenants.
great unit too. Brand
Yes.
new. All
Yeah.
brand new downstairs.
Custom work.
Custom.
But so yeah, she was, and then when she named us, she named our dog, and
Wow.
so and Lauren's like, "Man, this girl's our guardian angel." So
Yeah, that's awesome.
So shout out to Christy, you're awesome. You know that. So
She knows that. Both are in common.
but we had a
Great duo
We,
over
we had a
there.
laugh over that. We love the name. So Giffy's our dog. He's a great guy. We've had him now
Great
for
guy.
great dog. We've had him now for how long? So we got him in February.
6 months?
Right when we came back from North Conway, we got him. So no, not even. He's 6 months old. So, or I guess he's 7 months old yesterday. But we got him at 12 weeks. So I guess he was like 3 months old. So we've had him now for 4 or 5 months, and he's the best.
That's awesome.
He just got fixed, so he's having kind of a slow week this week. But
It's a rough week for him.
rough week. He's got the cone of shame on. So
Yeah. I would like his cone of shame though.
you know, I would too. I want his schedule where he just sleeps all day and.
So he had
sits
a
at home.
regular dog cone, but was he taking it off? He was able to take the regular
the
dog
plastic one?
Yeah.
No, it was
See,
yeah, it was just
He had the regular
hated
plastic
it.
one, so they got him some like koozie that you wear on the jet. You
Yeah,
can
it looks
see.
like a travel pill that you
Yeah.
rock when you're going on vacation, and
I wouldn't mind that at all.
we call it the donut of shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's rocking that right now. He's doing well.
You will meet him someday. He'll be on the podcast. He'll be sitting right there. We'll
Yep.
set up a mic for him.
Give him a milk bone or something like that.
Yeah, milk bone.
He'll
He'll,
have a good
he'll be
time.
yeah.
But yeah, so we got a pup now, and got a little one on the way due in December.
Congratulations on
yeah,
that, by the
so-
way.
But life's busy right now.
Life is crazy.
We just got back from my doctor's appointment down in Boston for myself. And
Today?
No. A couple weeks ago, remember we got the check.
Oh, the yearly check.
Yeah,
Right?
or
every 6.
biannual. Yeah, every other year.
Oh,
So,
okay.
anyways, I got a
Every 2
checkup
years.
done down in Boston for my doctor's appointment, and we're going through everything and telling her all this stuff, and boom,
He's like, wow, a lot of things have happened in
No,
the last couple of years.
She goes, man, you guys are busy. She
Yeah,
goes, she goes,
no kidding.
She goes, there's another doctor on Skype because you can't do everything. They can't have that many people in the room right now. She goes, man, what were you doing at 28?
We're probably still in school, to
I
be
never-
honest.
Yeah, I never really think about it, and when we sit down and talk about it like this, it's like, man, we do a lot. We kind of when you sit down and start talking about it, you realize how much stuff you're got going on because when you're in the thick of it, you're just trying
You're
to
in
think
the
about
moment.
You're just trying to think
Yeah.
about how to do it, and then you like sit back and reflect on it, and you're like, man, this is it's been a crazy last, I guess, 4 years since
Time
this all
flies.
started. Yeah, time does fly.
flies.
I
You're
would-
literally 28. You're almost 30.
I would agree that time flies, and the older you get, the faster it goes so far. Because high school felt like forever for me.
Yeah. Me too.
College, because I went to 2 different schools, flew by, And then ever since college, life has just flown by. I'm already 28. I remember being 22 yesterday.
Yeah, but like I said just before, you're doing great. You
And
got 2 houses, you got a wife,
Yep,
you got a dog,
yep.
a kid on the way.
You know what we want to get into now is the whole we want to try to find a place that we can go to, somewhere else, like on vacation.
Oh yeah, no, that's the plan for me too.
Yeah, it'd
Yep.
be fun to go because I'm a big
So,
believer in work-life balance.
My plan for that, I want to buy something either near or right on the beach.
Yep.
Obviously, I would like
Always got to have a view.
the Newport area in Rhode
Newport's
Island.
awesome. I was married in Newport.
Very expensive,
He was
though.
a groomsman at my wedding.
Yeah, best man. We the goal is to have something either on the water or near it.
Yep.
Even
Amen.
on Lake Winnipesaukee, like wow, what have you? It's just
On the
just
water.
a good time. Something just relaxing, something with a nice view.
Yep.
Not only do you own it, but I'm also my plan would be to do like an Airbnb situation where I would have
Agreed.
a company
At least at first.
at least at first.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Help offset the expense.
'Cause it's not cheap.
You can block out the dates you want,
Yep.
and then you rent it out the rest of the time.
And what the company will do, they'll literally manage it. All you have to do is show up at the beginning of the season and the end, open and close.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
they'll go in before the people from the Airbnb who rent it go in. They'll clean everything, make sure all the towels are folded and all that good stuff. Make sure there's clean amenities and whatnot. The people who come in and rent it from the Airbnb website, whatever, I don't know, what it's called. I think it's Airbnb.
It is, yeah. Or Verbo. There's both. You can do either one.
Yep. So they'll come in, rent the house for the week for however much, probably like 2,000 to 5,000,
Depends on the location.
depending on the location, the place,
specs
and
of the
whatnot.
place, yeah.
Once they leave, cleaning crew comes in, does the same thing over, gets it ready for the next people, and you just book it every single week.
And like I said,
that's bringing in revenue. Not only is it paying for the mortgage, but you're making profit off that because there's no way that
Mhm.
if you have it rented out 3-4 weeks out of the month, there's no way that's not paying for the mortgage plus some.
No, definitely. And I mean, buddy of mine has one up in North Conway, and he was telling me that June they killed it. They made a ton of money on
Is it in Bretton Woods?
No, it's North Conway. It's in Cranmore.
Cranmore.
Which
Mount Cranmore.
Cranmore is going through a huge redevelopment. I want to say it was a private company that bought them a number of years ago, and they're doing a massive. They're adding condos and a new lodge, shopping, dining. They're doing a huge expansion.
Wow, okay.
And so he bought one of the condos up there, and he does that. He rents it out in Airbnb, and that was kind of like an eye opener to me. I was like, wait a minute. I kept thinking multifamilies in Nashua, where we live, and I was like, wait a minute.
Why stay in southern New Hampshire?
Yeah, wait. Why not just get in there, buy a house that is a vacation rental? People
Yeah.
can rent it out, and then as long as you buy the right place in the right area, you're going to be able to offset that mortgage. You just need to have the upfront money.
Yep.
And then you can block out, a couple weeks a year you want to go down, and it's basically yours. And then when the time comes, when you're 55, 60 years old, that place is paid off, and now you have a vacation home
Right.
that you can go to, and you already know.
But you still have you. I mean, even moving up to that, it's your vacation home.
Well,
It's yours.
exactly.
So you go up there, you're pretty much renting it for free because
Yep.
not only it's yours, but someone else is paying for the mortgage.
So it's not for everybody, but it's something that definitely caught my eye when I was like, he kind of, you think about things, see it through a different lens. I was like, wait a minute, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
I was like, that
You
would
save a lot of money doing it.
That'd be
that
really
way.
cool. I was like, especially
Disney is expensive.
Yes, we
Plane
we
tickets
just
are
went there last
expensive.
year. I know. We went there in February, and it was one of the best trips. If you ever get a chance, if you appreciate quality, if you ever get a chance to go to Disney World in Florida, what a great time. I mean, my wife has been there a million times, and you know this. She booked the whole thing. She had the whole thing planned out, and I was a little skeptical because I'm like, Disney's for kids, and so
Tricks are for kids.
we went, and I had the time of my life. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Well, you're a kid at heart, so
I am a big.
I'm
kid
not
at heart.
surprised.
Big kid at heart. So.
Huge.
Massive. No. So, we had a great time. I think you should go to Disney, especially if you want to see it. If you want to see quality, like that's the place to
Enough
go.
free plugs for the day.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'll wrap it up.
Yep.
This is fun. I'm having a good time this show.
Yeah. No, I think
I'm having a good time.
like you said, we should wrap it up.
Did I say that? No, but I
No,
think
we're going good.
we can start going towards the end. But I think you guys get the gist of the show. Where we were just kind of going back and forth a little bit. And Dan, do you want to talk a little bit about your place?
No, we'll talk about it next time.
Oh,
I
okay.
think we've
Okay.
this episode, we
Mhm.
kind of talked about each other.
Yeah.
Kind of talked about how you started. I think next time we maybe can expound on what I've done throughout the years and how I got here where I am today, which
Sure.
would be another great conversation. But yeah, no, it's I think today was probably eye opening for a lot of the viewers.
Absolutely.
So people who don't know where you came from, because a lot of people, like even like in the music industry, a lot of people are like, oh, overnight successors, but you really,
Definitely not.
they have been working since they were 15 years old.
Yep. Yep.
And working their butt off to get to the where they are today, and
Yep.
they have one hit song and they're like, oh, overnight success. No,
Not true.
not at all. You haven't heard everything they've come out with on SoundCloud.
Yep.
You haven't heard any of it. So
Yeah, I would say this is, for me, it's 23 years in the making. Just to get to this point, and I feel like I'm just getting started.
exactly. But a lot of people will look at you and be like, wow, he's got all this stuff, and he's like, oh, he just must make good money. No, it's because one, you were smart with your money.
Smart with the money. The little money that I did make, I was smart
The
with
little
it.
money that you made, you were able to.
Apply it and make more money. Like the guy, one of these guys I follow, is you want to make the Benjamins make babies, right? So you want your money to make you more money. Instead of spending that money on a new brand new shirt, you invest it and make more money. So
Exactly.
and there's a lot more
Your
about-
money makes your money makes your money. Is that how it goes?
yeah,
How's
yeah.
it goes? No.
Your money, you invest that Benjamin, that makes you babies. So
Right.
makes you more money. So
Money makes.
as
money.
and there's a lot more about us that you'll get to know about throughout the way.
We look forward to having
Yeah.
a lot of guests on as
We
well.
do. This
We
is
have a
hopefully-
lot of people lined up, which is
I
it's
would
a
say
blessing. Really.
80% of our or probably even 90% of our show is gonna be guest content.
Yep.
And every once in a while, we're going to do a check-in with you guys like this and kind of give you a little update on us and
Where we're at.
where we're at.
Yep.
We want to, our goal with this show, I think, is to gain exposure and kind of share with you the knowledge we've learned thus far and then kind of take you along the way, hopefully for the next 20, 30 years of what we're going to be doing, because we really feel like we're just getting started.
Oh yeah.
So that'd be the goal, is to take you along the journey and also kind of gather a following and share with people what we've learned so far. And hopefully we help some people like us who are 16 out there right now along the way and give them a head start. And
Yeah. A lot of people don't have the correct role models in their
Yeah,
house,
I would agree.
in their lives, especially when
both
growing up.
in the household and in their lives.
Absolutely.
Whether it's they're just haven't found the right spot or whatever. But
I will say, if I didn't work at Janot's and I didn't know you and we didn't have all those conversations while we were working really hard, by the way.
yes, I promise, Glenn.
I wouldn't be where I am at today
I
if we
agree.
didn't have all those conversations
I agree.
and all of our experiences together. So
I agree. We used to hang out every Friday.
Wednesday, Friday.
No, when we were working at Johnson in college.
Oh! I thought
He'd come over every Friday night after I got out of school and he got out of work. And actually, I think I closed Friday night. Whatever. We got out of work on Friday. We'd hang out all night, play video games, and have pizza, just like normal kids do. But then we'd
Zombies.
have
Call of Duty
conversations. Yeah,
zombies.
zombie.
Yeah.
Which I would say we were
We killed it.
slightly above average. We weren't any like rock stars, but
We got to about level 30.
35, I think it was.
35.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We had fun. We had a great time, and we developed that bond. That's that irrebreakable bond over those years. And then we'd go to the gym and started working out, and then we started having deeper and deeper conversations. And like he said, it's not an overnight success. It's not an overnight friendship. It takes time. It takes those memories to build, and then we've kind of built up a brotherhood here. And that's kind of how I've always been. I don't have strength in numbers with friends. I have like a select really good few friends that I like to truly open up to and become family with. Like shout out to Jake Fagan, my true brother Sean Roser, who'll probably be in the podcast at some point in the next
Looking forward to that
6 to
too.
12 months. And then you are kind of like my three core, like best like brotherhood friends, I would say. And then he branches out that a little bit, but I've never been interested in being the popular guy at the table, or I just wanted to be a good dude who's authentic and be pure to ourselves. You're gonna notice we dress how we dress. There's nothing fancy about us. We let our assets do the talking. No liabilities. You won't see any Lambos parked outside. You won't see any fancy chains on or anything like that. We're pretty authentic guys, and we do have a couple goals that along the way we'll have a little fun with our money if we hit certain milestones. But I promise you it'll be very minute compared to what we are accomplishing. That you can have fun, but you got to be able to afford it, and we'll have some fun along the way. And we'll explain that to you. We have a few beliefs on how to invest, and we're going to share that with you guys. And think we'll have some fun along the way with some interviews.
Yeah, a lot of great content coming your way. So please tune in.
Yep.
We're going to do this every single Wednesday night. For now, we're just going to be posting on our YouTube channel. That is the Dan and Tyler Show.
Yep.
On YouTube. Follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe.
Again, the Dan and Tyler Show.
The Dan and Tyler Show.
Yep.
And you can also email us at danandtylershow@gmail.com if you have any insights or any questions.
If you think you're somebody who could be a great guest on the show, please reach out to Dan and myself at that email.
Yep. Send your resume in as well. Feel free to.
Again, like I said, we're booking up pretty quick through the rest of the year here, actually.
Yeah.
The winter's going to be kind of tough because we'll have a newborn, and
That's right.
so we're going to try to book that out sooner rather than later so we can know what our schedule is going to be.
Yep.
But yeah, we look forward to having the next few guests on the show, and we'll go from there.
Yep. For now, like I said, we're just going to be posting on YouTube and probably sharing the YouTube to a Facebook page. Our goal is to eventually be live on Spotify, but we're just kind of getting our feet wet, and we're just going to take it from there one step at a time. So we're
Nothing
planning
overnight.
Nothing overnight. We're planning on being on Spotify, Apple iTunes, all the streaming services. So stay tuned, and we look forward to seeing you on the next podcast. And
Our job is to get the content to you guys. Your job is to ingest it and then
hopefully you take
Yeah,
something from
take
it, and
something from
also be entertained by it.
make
as
it your
well.
own, take it and apply it. But our job is to give you the content. It's your
Exactly.
job to apply it.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you have a great week, and as Grant Cardone would say, be great.
Be great. God bless.
God bless.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
See you next week.